Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Black Accountant. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and let me know of any kind of content you want to see going forward. Oh yeah, by the way, it's your boy Mo. Well, it's your boy Mo. So today I'm going to be talking about having started a business during the pandemic and a little bit of the pros and cons of doing so. So it's definitely been tough just because it is a lot of research and a lot of time in terms of an investment of money, in terms of an investment of time and of mental stress or a mental capacity overall. But some of the cons that I've really experienced from having started a business during the pandemic are more so the nature of my business. So some of the subscribers here are people I already knew beforehand, who know that I started a resume business called Resumade Consulting. Actually, link that in the description. Don't forget to check out my website. Let me plug myself real quick. Um, that business, it was I had a very specific plan for my advertising because I had started in late 2019, and in 2020 I was going to do a lot of partnerships with schools, and that kind of got really derailed during the height of the pandemic because, as you can imagine, it was a lot more difficult to get in touch with clubs on different campuses. It was a lot more difficult to advertise because the initial goal was to have collaborations with a lot of different clubs from my regular campus and a couple of other community colleges because I was targeting um, community college students and people looking for their first entry level job. So I was trying to help out in that regard because I'd experienced doing it. I did it for a couple friends and for a while, and then I was told like, hey, maybe you should charge because you do a pretty decent job at this. So that was kind of one of the main cons that I had, is transitioning from the initial advertising plan that I had to having to go digital. And it's really, I want to say it's initially really difficult. It was difficult for me just because I don't really have that much experience with social media. I had a lot of social media accounts just because either a friend of mine would have made it for me, or I made it because my friends were on it and I would just use it mainly to chat. So it was really difficult for me to transition to trying to advertise online, which is like, now I do have a business page. I'll also link that in the description. If I can figure out how to edit it into the video, I will. But that was like one of the main struggles there, is transitioning to online advertisement and figuring out how to build a clientele and how to establish an online presence, which is something I'm still trying to figure out how to do. So that was the biggest con right there. The second one was getting clients. Obviously, this is always a hard one because you need to source people and source your clients on a consistent basis so that you have people, and then over time, once your quality kind of shows in your work, then you can get more and more word of mouth clients, and that would really help your business. However, since I am targeting mostly students and people looking for entry level jobs, a lot of jobs, especially in the accounting and consulting fields, got slashed. And at the same time, people didn't really have that same capacity to pay somebody to do their resume. I actually saw a lot of people doing a lot of DIY type projects and a lot of what is the word I'm looking for? A lot of DIY type projects and a lot of do it yourself for everything. It's just researching on Google and on YouTube on how to do things. So a lot of people were more invested in doing their own thing rather than actually hiring somebody to do it for them. So those are like some of the biggest cons that I had with the business. I'm actually picking up a little bit of speed now, but at the same time, it is still kind of an issue for me. Some of the pros would definitely be is that I was able to create like a virtual process to make it a lot easier, not only on like my clients, but on myself as well, because I was able to develop a website in a nice time frame where it was a lot of virtual connection, and I was able to really see what it is that I wanted, what really worked, and then just kind of consistently improving on that. And being able to do a lot of my meetings and things virtually allowed me to be in multiple different spaces. So for example, like I'd be at home, I could deal with a couple of clients and then go back to whatever else I was doing. Or I could be at a friend's place, we could be hanging out, I'll take a little break so I can do a client and then move on to the next thing. So it gave me a little bit more autonomy and flexibility in terms of where I could work, how I could work, and also giving that kind of guidance without having to physically drive out to a location or without having to stay on too long. It gave me a lot better time control or time management. So that was like one of the main pros of having started a business during the pandemic. And again, my business is a little bit more service oriented, so I don't really have an inventory or any kind of cost of goods sold or anything like that. So it made the service, or it made the planning or the business itself a lot easier to transition and start and build up than a regular other business, because I didn't have to purchase any kind of inventory and wait for a delivery. I didn't really have to go through the postal service or any kind of mail, because it would be like, hey, let me do your resume. Let me email it back to you. Here's a PDF. Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Here's the payment. Everything worked out. So those are kind of like the main things going on with my business. I know a lot of people really suffered during the pandemic, but I feel like a lot of times during periods of economic devastation or a lot of unemployment and a lot of struggle economically is usually the best time to start a business, because you could either become a leader that once everything starts to pick up, and at the same time, it's a time to innovate, because a lot of bigger businesses that are already established either are already suffering and are also trying to rework their business model. So if you're one of the earlier ones to adopt it, it might work out better for you in the long run. So let me know if you actually started a business, any kind of entrepreneur type venture during this time, and like, how's that really been working for you? Also, if you don't for hold up. Also, if you started like a business and it's going well, or if you're a little bit more familiar with online space and online advertising, feel free to let me know in the comments, because I'd love to hear more opinions and try to fix up a little bit more of like what I could do and how to move forward. All right, that's it for this video, but don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also don't forget to check out my Instagram and website.